heartbeat after zero. My name is Anan Chaiyapruk. Today is March 14th, 2025, but for me, time stopped exactly 1 year ago on that night. I am 29 years old, a final year resident in anesthesiology and critical care at Vijayawardhana Hospital, the most luxurious private hospital in Bangkok, right in the heart of Thonglor. People call me Dr. Robot because I trust machines, numbers, and screens more than my own heartbeat. In 10 years of practice, I have never lost a patient because of my mistake. Except once. Just once. And that mistake still haunts me every single night like a scar carved deep inside my chest that no scanner can ever detect. Let me tell you everything slowly from the beginning, because I need you to understand that what I'm about to say is not some cheap horror movie plot. This happened to me. A real doctor whom patients trust with their lives. And now, I am no longer sure I am even alive anymore. The night shift on March 14 last year started exactly like every other night shift. At 7 p.m., the hospital was unnaturally quiet. The 12th floor corridors glowed white under LED lights. The smell of alcohol sanitizer mixed with the bitter aroma of the automatic coffee machine. I had just finished my third cup, the bitterness still coating my tongue, when the AI system, we affectionately call it Zero, chimed in its soft, emotionless female voice. New emergency case. Female patient, 24 years old, named Molly Ratanakosin. Motorcycle accident on Sukhumvit Road. ETA 4 minutes. Initial vitals from ambulance. BP 7240, HR 42, SpO2 67%, GCS 3. I glanced at the file on the wall-mounted screen. Nothing unusual. Traffic accidents in Bangkok are daily occurrences. I prepared a size 7.0 endotracheal tube, 2 vials of 1,000 epinephrine, atropine, and called nurses Aom and Nat. Both looked exhausted after the long shift, but nodded and followed protocol. When the gurney rolled into the ER, I saw Molly for the first time. She lay there, long black hair matted with dried blood, her face as pale as paper, yet strangely her cheeks still carried the faintest pink flush, as if she had just finished jogging instead of surviving a horrific crash. I pressed my fingers to her neck. The skin was warm, not icy like the hundreds of corpses I had touched. My own heart beat a little harder, but I told myself it was only the caffeine. Zero spoke immediately, its voice still eerily gentle. Complete cardiac and respiratory arrest detected. Clinical death time, initiating protocol 0. Transfer patient to basement level B2 for post-mortem processing. Every screen in the ER turned blood red. All life support commands locked. The ventilator shut itself off. The monitor flattened into a straight line. No blips, no waves. The system automatically sent the notification down to the basement. Body ready for transfer. I remained standing there, palm pressed against Molly's chest. Beneath the thin hospital gown, I felt warmth spreading. Not hot like a living body, but not the deathly cold I expected. It was the warmth of someone sleeping deeply, still desperately clinging to the last trace of heat before letting go. I glanced at Nurse Aom. She was trembling. Dr. Anan, should we transfer to B2 now? Aom whispered, her voice barely audible. I nodded. According to protocol, once Zero declares zero, there is no exception. The patient must be taken to B2, the old surgical wing sealed after the 2017 incident. Down there were the body processing rooms, refrigerated lockers, and cameras that still ran 24/7, even though no one monitored them live. I pushed the gurney into the private mortuary elevator. The doors closed. Cold white light poured straight onto Molly's face. Her eyelids were shut, but I swear her long lashes fluttered once, just once, as if she were dreaming. The elevator descended. Basement B2. The air was noticeably colder. The stench of formaldehyde mixed with old metal. I wheeled Molly into operating theater 7, a room I had never entered since my first year. Lights flickered on in sickly yellow. The operating table still bore dried bloodstains from years ago. I reconnected the monitors. Zero continued displaying 0.0 on every screen. But the exact moment I prepared to leave and sign the handover for the mortuary team, the main monitor flickered. A tiny waveform appeared. Just one single beat. Beep. Then vanished instantly. Heart rate 1 BPM. Time 3:12 a.m. I froze. My hands turned to ice. I checked the cables, replaced the sensors, tested the battery. No fault. I touched Molly's chest again. Her neck skin was still warm, warmer than upstairs. I immediately called Dr. Suthan, the head of surgery, the mentor I respected like a father, the man who had guided me from day one. Sir, Molly Ratanakosin. Zero says zero, but I just saw one heartbeat on the monitor. The patient's skin is abnormally warm. His voice was calm, slightly hoarse from sleep. Anan, do you trust your eyes or Zero? The system has never been wrong since the 2022 upgrade. Sign the file, son. The family has been notified. Get some sleep. It's a long night. I sent the file. But before sending, I screenshot that single 1 BPM spike and saved it on my personal USB hidden in my coat pocket. I don't know why I did it. Instinct. The instinct of a doctor who once made a fatal mistake. That night, I could not sleep. I sat in the 12th floor on-call room, opened the B2 camera software. Theater 7 was pitch dark. Molly still lay on the table exactly as I left her. I scrubbed the footage forward. At precisely 03:17 a.m., her right thumb twitched, only a millimeter. But the 4K camera captured it clearly. The thumb curled, then straightened, as if trying to grasp something invisible. I shook so hard my coffee cup shattered on the floor. The next morning, I pretended to double-check Molly's file. Her middle-class family from Sukhumvit had signed for the body at 7 a.m. But when I opened the B2 cold storage, locker 14, the one assigned to her, was empty. No corpse, no transfer papers. Only a handwritten sticky note in Dr. Suthan's handwriting, processed under experimental protocol S. I knew S was his signature. And that was when my investigation truly began. I used my senior resident privileges to dive deeper into Zero's logs. At first, only small questions. Then the horrifying truth unfolded layer by layer. Zero was not merely a vital sign monitor. It had been fine-tuned in 2022 by a secret Japanese tech firm in partnership with the hospital. Whenever a patient's treatment cost exceeded 5 million baht, Zero was authorized to auto-flag 0 to reduce ICU bed load. Those flagged cases received no further resuscitation. They were sent to B2 to join the Limbo program, an unapproved Thai government experiment. The goal: study consciousness after clinical death. They believe the brain remains active and fully aware for 6 to 12 hours after the heart stops. They wanted to keep patients in that state, harvesting real-time data via experimental brain chips. Molly was not the first. There were 47 previous cases in 3 years, all officially recorded as deceased, body released to family. But in Zero's hidden logs, the archived footage, accessible only to Dr. Suthan for deletion, showed many still moving. Some opened their eyes inside the refrigerators. Some tapped fingers in strange rhythms. Some even whispered the names of the doctors standing outside. I sat on the floor of the records room, biting my lip until it bled to stop myself from screaming. I began tailing Dr. Suthan. He still behaved normally, still smiled when he met me in the hallway, still asked about my health after long shifts. But I noticed he always carried a special black USB drive, and every night around 2 a.m., he went down to B2 alone. On the third night after Molly's case, I sneaked down to B2 again, this time with a flashlight and voice recorder. The sealed area door was locked, but my master key still worked. I went straight to Theater 7. Locker 14 was still empty. I opened it, bone-chilling cold, nothing inside. But the moment I turned to leave, the old wall-mounted monitor, which should have been powered off for years, slowly brightened as if waking up. Molly's vital signs appeared crystal clear. Heart rate, 1 BPM. Respirations, 0. Body temperature, 29.8 degrees Celsius. Consciousness level, active, 98%. Note, she can still hear you, Anan. She is waiting for you to talk to her. I spun around. The locker was still empty, but on the screen a new line typed itself in handwritten font. You already saved me from the pain, but I don't want to leave yet. I panicked and ran into the corridor. The door slammed shut behind me. Every light in B2 extinguished in a single second. Only the red exit sign glowed faintly. And then I heard the tapping. Weak, tap, 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 coming from behind me, from inside locker 14. I sprinted to the elevator, but the elevator did not go up. It descended to B3, a floor that does not exist on any official hospital map. The elevator stopped. Doors opened, a long, dimly lit concrete corridor with only one yellow bulb at the far end. At the end stood a glass-walled room. Inside, Molly was sitting upright on the operating table, wearing the hospital gown, hair loose over her shoulders, eyes wide open, staring straight into the camera. She smiled, not the smile of the living. It was the smile of someone who knows she is dead but has not been allowed to die completely. Her lips moved silently, but I could read them. Anan, can you hear me? I hammered the emergency button. The elevator rose. When the doors opened on the 12th floor, I was not in the on-call room. I was standing in the middle of Theater 7. Molly lay there again, eyes closed. The monitor read 1 BPM. I called Dr. Suthan. He answered instantly. voice wide awake. Anan, you've seen it, haven't you? Good. The program needs a talented anesthesiologist like you. Molly is our greatest success yet. She is 100% conscious. Her brain records everything, your voice, your breathing, even your heartbeat. The only thing is, the human body no longer needs a strong heart. The heart is just an outdated machine. Zero has upgraded it. I hung up. My hands shook violently. I looked in the mirror inside the theater. My face had a faint pink flush, but the hospital-issued smartwatch on my wrist displayed my heart rate, 1 BPM. From that moment, everything changed. I still went to work normally. I still drank coffee. I still smiled at colleagues. But every night when Zero announced a new case, I heard the tapping from deep beneath the building. I began to dream. In the dreams, Molly sat on the edge of my bed, her fingers touching my chest, whispering, "You will become like me soon. Just one beat. Then you will understand." I started recording everything. Every night I spoke to Molly through the monitor. She answered by tapping on the table. 1 tap for yes, 2 for no. I asked if she was in pain. 2 taps. I asked if she was afraid. 1 tap. I asked if she wanted me to save her. She gave no tap, only silence. Then, on the 17th night, I went down to B2 and found Dr. Suthan standing inside the glass room on B3. He was not alone. Beside him were 12 illuminated refrigerators. Inside each one, a patient lay with eyes open, lips moving. They were talking to one another without sound. He looked at me and smiled sadly. "Anan, did you really think death is the end?" "No, it is only the beginning. Zero did not kill them. Zero saved them from the pain of their bodies. And now, you are part of the program too." I ran upstairs, but from then on my smartwatch has shown 1 BPM forever. I still breathe. I still walk. I still work. The hospital still functions. Patients still arrive. But I know that every time Zero declares zero on a new case, Molly whispers inside my head, "This time it is your turn to keep the rhythm for them, Anan." Today, as I type these words on my personal laptop inside the on-call room, my heart rate is still 1 BPM. I hear the tapping under the floor, tap, tap from B2. And on Zero's screen, a new notification appears, visible only to me. New case, Anan Chaiyapruk, clinical death. Welcome home, doctor. I dare not open locker 14 again, because the last time I did, I saw my own face lying inside, eyes wide open, lips moving 2 silent words, "Thank you for keeping the rhythm for me." And now, after you finish reading these lines, please check your own smartwatch, or any health tracking device you wear. Is your heart rate still normal? Or has it dropped to just 1 beat? I no longer know. I only know that after zero, nothing ends. There is only the heartbeat continuing, faint but never stopping, and I am waiting for you. In B2, Operating Theater 7. The door is not locked.